Hey guys, I'm ESC1 again, and so the new format is just about to be upon us, and today at my league I got a little taste of the next format. It tasted pretty bad, actually, but I had to build a new deck because about 10 minutes before the tournament started they told us that we're going to play with the new cards, and everyone's like, what? No, we're not ready for that, but they're like, it's going to happen anyway. So I had to build a Seismitoad deck. I figured it was going to be the best thing to use. So I got a list for you. This is basically just my beta list. I haven't tested it a ton. I just pretty much used it today, but it seems to be pretty working fairly well. So I'll just get right into the list. So we'll start with the Pokemon. 2 Garbodor. This is just standard in pretty much any Garbodor deck. 2 Trubbish, also standard in a Garbodor deck. I might go up to 3 Trubbish. We'll see. 1 Reshiram. So Seismitoad is weak to grass, so Reshiram is just there as basically a counter to Virizion and Genesect because it you can outrage Virizion or Genesect for knockout, and then it's just really good to do that. So we have it for that reason. Then we have 2 Mewtwo. Mewtwo is basically just to hit your opponent's Mewtwo for weakness, and then also it's good against Lucario, and it's good against let's see, what was the last thing? Oh, and Virizion Genesect, because that's another bad matchup. So, Mewtwo's great for those reasons. And I have 2 just because you need more basics, basically, because without these 2, I only have 7 basic Pokemon, which is not enough, so Mewtwo's good for that. And also, it attacks for colorless energy, just like Seismitoad, so DCs can help it with that. Then for Seismitoad, we have 4 Seismitoad. Honestly, you can't run any less than 4 Seismitoad if you're not going to run Landorus or anything else with it, because just the way this deck works. I've got Super Scoop Ups and Cassius's, and before you freak out about Cassius, it's actually a good idea for the mirror match. It's actually super good for the mirror match. So yeah, we just have 4 Seismitoads, so you can start with it and Quaking Punch as soon as possible. It's basically a main attack out of the deck. You just want to lock the whole game with Quaking Punch, so yeah, that's why we have 4. And we don't have Super Rod because that's going to get rotated. So, but if we did have Super Rod, I'd probably take out one of the Seismitoad and one of the energy for a Super Rod. 3 Super Scoop Up. This is really good because with Seismitoad, you can just take the damage and then Super Scoop it back up and then play it back down, and then there's no damage on it, and then you just attach double colorless energy and it's fully powered up again. So basically, you can heal all the damage without having to waste the energy like you would with Max Potion. And that's really good. Although it is a coin flip, which kind of sucks, it's just a super good effect. And yeah, this is like a really defensive deck. So Super Scoop Up works really well. I do like having oh, the other thing it's great for is you can use this as a switch basically too. If you have something active and you want to move it, you can Super Scoop Up it to switch it out so you can bring something else active. So yeah, that's another use for it. I really like this card, and I'm super happy that they reprinted it. So I've got my old, I think it's like Diamond and Pearl era ones. And they're not actually mine; they're my friends. Just 3 Ultra Ball. This is basically to help the mirror match a little bit. I don't want to run more than 3 Ultra Ball because it's just a dead card in the mirror match. And then also you really don't need more than 3. It seems like. Yeah, because you're basically just trying to get Seismitoad and Garbodor out, and you run 4 Seismitoad. So, like, you don't really need more than 3 Ultra Ball, it seems like. There was, like, one game where I wanted 4, but I think 3 is enough. I think this is a pretty cool idea. I came up with this myself. Rock Guard is my A-Spec. So you might be thinking, wow, why would you run Rock Guard? That is a piece of crap. But what you don't realize is if you put Rock Guard on a Seismitoad and use Quaking Punch, they can never Tool Scrapper or Megaphone your Rock Guard. So it's just there forever. And if they have to 2-shot your Seismitoad, which they probably will, they have to take 120 damage from Rock Guard before they can knock it out. And then on top of that, you can combine it with Super Scoop Up, and then they do damage, and then you Super Scoop Up the Seismitoad back, and then bring up something with a Floatstone, put the Seismitoad back down, attach the double colorless and the Rock Guard, retreat, and then you have a fresh Seismitoad again, and they have to attack into it sometimes 3, sometimes even 4 times. So Rock Guard is amazing. I'm getting kind of hyped up here, but Rock Guard is just so good in this deck. It's hard to make it work sometimes, but after using it today, I'm super happy it's the A-Spec I picked. And it's very helpful. So I would definitely suggest running Rock Guard in this deck if you are going to use it. Then for tools, besides Rock Guard, we have 3 Muscle Band. This is just so that Seismitoad does more damage. It's great for hitting Landorus for weakness, because you already hit it for weakness, but you only do 60 damage, but if you have Muscle Band, you do 100. Also, 30 damage just isn't that much, so if you have Muscle Band, you're doing 50 every time instead of 30, which helps a ton in the mirror match. If you can be the first one to get down your Muscle Band, and then lock your opponent out of playing his Muscle Band, that helps a lot. So Muscle Band is very good. Yeah, I almost want to go up to 4 just so that I can consistently get it on the first turn, and hit my opponent's and hit my opponent's Seismitoads and all their other Pokemon for 50 before they can item lock me back. But I'm not sure. We'll see. Muscle Band is very good though. Also helps with Mewtwo. And then we have 3 Floatstone. This is just for Garbodor basically, and then just to have something as a free retreater. Yeah, I guess that's basically it. 3 is pretty much standard number for Garbodor decks. Yeah, pretty basic. Then we have 2 Switch. I only have 2. It seems like enough for me. We have the Floatstones too. I know Seismitoad does have a 3 retreat cost, which is kind of a ton, but you're not going to be able to use switches most of the time anyway because of the mirror match, and Seismitoad is going to be big, so there's going to be a lot of mirror matches. But, I mean, it's good to have the switches just in case you're not against the mirror match, which will, you know, not everybody is going to play Seismitoad. And also, when they're not using Seismitoad, you can use the switches, so I find it's really good. It's also important to have because you can get whatever, if you don't start with Seismitoad, you can get whatever is in the active position out of the way. So, I feel like 2 Switch is enough. And also, Super Scoop Up works as Switch sometimes, so I figure you don't really need more than 3. 4 Laser. The thing is, even though your opponent locks your items, if you can play Laser on the first turn and then Quaking Punch, it is so powerful because they can't switch or play Floatstone or anything, and they're just stuck taking laser damage turn after turn, and it is so good with this Seismitoad. I had 3 earlier, and then I was like, this isn't working at all. I need 4. Yeah, just being able to add damage with Seismitoad is so powerful. You know, you see 30 damage and you're like, well, that's not that much, but locking their items makes it so that you do more damage with lasers and stuff like that. You know, because they can't switch, they can't retreat, and they don't have Virizion to block status conditions because you lock with Seismitoad's ability the whole or Seismitoad's attack the whole game, so they can't Tool Scrapper or Megaphone because that's an item, and you item lock with Quaking Punch. So basically, you have Garbodor going the entire game, and they can't stop poison except by retreating. So Laser is very good in this deck. And then there's Tuber Rank. Tuber Rank is just to make Laser do more damage. Yeah, this is pretty much the perfect number. You really don't need 3. It's just a dead card in the mirror match. It's important to have as little dead cards in the mirror match as you can. 2 Chorus. I don't like this card at all, but there are very little supporters that work well in this deck. I find that the 4N and 4 Juniper are great, but all other supporters or draw support cards I am not enjoying very much. I really just have the 2 Chorus just because you need more draw support cards. I don't run a ton, but like you just kind of have to. So that's basically why. And then 2 Skyla. I don't like Skyla too much in this deck either. It can grab the Rock Guard though, which is awesome. It can grab Super Scoop Up too, which is really nice, or the Laser or the Muscle Band. So I guess Skyla is good for grabbing that stuff, but I'd really rather just have more draw support cards. And the reason I don't have more draw support cards is because Bianca is just not that great, and Shauna is also not that great. So we have 3 Skyla just for that. Yeah, it's the draw support line for this deck is kind of hard. It's kind of dumb, but you know, Seismitoad is so crazy overpowered that it's, you know, it's kind of worth it. And then we have 1 Shauna, just another draw support card. I needed to have 13. So that's like the minimum number for me, so I just have 1 Shauna for that reason. This could easily turn into another Skyla, but for right now it's just a Shauna. Then, this is what makes my mirror match awesome. You might be thinking Cassius is horrible, but it's basically just like how I talked about Super Scoop Up is really good earlier. You know, if you have damage on your Seismitoad and your opponent is using Seismitoad, you can just Cassius the Seismitoad back in. And bring up another Seismitoad and just start item locking him with that new one. So Cassius is really good. It's, you know, it's just super good. The only reason why you wouldn't run it is because it stops or you can't use a draw support on the same turn. But I find with Seismitoad you don't really need to hit very much, and especially in the mirror match when you can't play any items anyway. So that really you just need to hit energy. So as long as you have energy in play and you can keep attaching, you can just use Cassius. This is actually a really powerful card. Like, a lot of people think it's bad, but it's just really because you need to draw into stuff a lot of the time in Pokemon. But if you're using a deck where you don't need to draw into stuff every turn, Cassius is pretty darn good. Um, yeah, so I have this basically for the mirror match. It helps a ton in the mirror match. And that's why I run such a high count at 3, just because I need to have it in my hand whenever I need it. We have 2 Lysander. I'd really like to have 3. I find Lysander is really good in this deck because I can bring up something with like a 3 retreat cost, and then it's just stuck active because they can't switch or retreat with Floatstone, so they have to like retreat manually if they want to get it out of the active position. So I find Lysander is really good. It's also nice for just taking knockouts on stuff that has damage on it already. So I really want to up the count to 3. I might take out something else for a 3rd Lysander, we'll see. But 2 is kind of enough. I'd really like to have a 3rd one though. Like I said, this is just the beta version, so I'll find more space and change the cards later. I'll make an updated deck list in like 2 weeks once I figure out how to really run this deck well. Then we have 4N. This is just standard in every deck. It's good draw supporter. That's really all there is to it. And 4 Juniper. Standard. Really good card. Just more draw support. And then the energy kind of stinks too. 4 DCE is good, and I'd really like to run more, but you can only run 4, so 4 is pretty much obvious. And then I just have 6 water energy, which is really depressing because I wish I could take advantage of using another attacker to hit with for damage or something like that, but really you just want to use Seismitoad the whole time. And I'd like to have 7 water, but this deck is super packed. Like, I don't know what I would take out for another energy. I'm thinking of taking out the Super Scoop Up, 1 or 2 of them, just because they're useless in the mirror match anyway, and I'm going to be playing mirror matches all the time. So, yeah, I'd like to have 7, and if you're going to run this deck, I'd definitely recommend running 7 energy besides the double colorless. But, it's hard to fit. So, anyway, that's about it. So, this deck, I mean, in theory, it's really good. Like, a lot of stuff works really well. Seismitoad is super powerful locking items, but the thing is, I find that the low damage output hurts really bad when you can't get Muscle Band or Rock Art or anything like that into play before your opponent item locks you. So, excuse me, against other decks besides the mirror match, it's really good, it seems like. But I feel like in the mirror match, it's not unfavored, but it feels just like it's super luck based. It's just like who goes first and draws better on the 1st and 2nd turn, and like after that, the game is pretty much just like set in stone for whoever's gonna win, because whoever takes the first prize it's just back and forth, using size or whatever, something punch, whatever Seismitoad's attack is, and the mirror match is super stupid. It's just a bunch of luck based crap. But that's why I have the Cassius's, because that will swing it in my favor sometimes. Yeah, but if you're going to build this deck, I would definitely try to include as many things to help the mirror match as you can, because the mirror match is not fun at all. So, yeah, thanks for watching this video. I know it's kind of, I don't know. Thanks for watching the video. Like if you like the video, comment if you want to tell me something, and subscribe for more. Oh, and I'm also going to come out with another video soon with like a big basics version, like Landorus, Seismitoad, Mewtwo, Garbodor, instead of just the Seismitoad. So, anyway, okay, that's it.